If you would like to know 5 Bloxburg building tips, then stay on this video. Hello guys, it is K-Spade. Welcome or welcome back, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you my top 5 building tips. So just as a disclaimer, some of these building tips do require passes, but except from that, let's get straight into the video. Now, as you can see, I have built a little room for this video so I can show you these hacks. But before you all come at me from my last video and I told you not to build a house like this is generally just for example. Now, my first tip is roof details. Now, these are so important in my builds. Honestly, they make your building look so much more realistic than it was before. So for this, you are going to go to structural and you're going to want to use this, which is the standard square beam. Now with this, you can use any size square beam. My favorite is the small one though, as I feel as though it just does look a bit better than the rest. Now you are going to want to choose custom placement and you're going to want to do a line across, like around there. It doesn't matter how high or how low you go, just don't go too low. So I am just going to go across now and I will end it on where it is, so there. And the next thing you're going to want to do is, as you can see here, you're going to want to go from the top now and link it to the one that you just placed. Now, if you want to, you can leave it like this, but I do like to add 2 beams going up like that. So I will just show you how that looks. So this is how it looks the way I do it. And honestly, it does look very weird right now because obviously the house is not coloured. But once you have done that and you have more roofs that you can do that on, it looks so nice and makes your builds look so much more realistic. Now, this is still basically included in the first tip, but my next tip is to kind of outline your roof, if that makes sense. So what you would obviously do, still using custom placement, you would then kind of place it here and go all the way up and leave a space there. Now, this space is so that you can obviously do the next part, which is like this, and obviously bring that one down. And what you can do is you are literally just going to keep doing this all around the house, like every edge there is. So once you have gone around the roof, my next favorite thing is to add a little line going from here to the next one. And that kind of just creates this realistic look. And obviously it can go a bit like that sometimes, but if you have the transform tool, that is nothing that this cannot fix. So this is how it looks in the end. And honestly, I love doing this to my builds. I don't know if it's like a majority. I think some people don't like doing it, but in my opinion, I really like it. And you can go in and colour this, but for today's video, I'm just going to leave it like that as I can show you the detail. Now, my next tip is a custom bed. Now, I am just going to start off with a simple one, as maybe I will do another video on more detailed custom beds. So if you would like to see that, let me know in the comments. But I will now show you how to do this. Now, you are going to want to use the basic cube and resize it so it kind of comes out more than the bed itself. Now, after you've done that, you can make it as thick as you want. I normally go for about that thickness, and then I will show you what to do next. Now, for this next part, you can move the bed out of the way, as it's kind of needed to do that. And I would recommend making this a bit taller. You don't have to make it too tall, but if you would like it a bit taller, that is generally up to you. And you are going to want to use the convex straight, and you're going to want to place this kind of there, as it will extend when you transform it. So you're now going to want to stretch this out. Now obviously there is going to be 2 on each side, so just kind of guess where they would meet up, I guess. And obviously make this kind of the same thickness. I mean, it doesn't really matter. If it's poking out, then it matters, but if you can't see it poking out, then it's completely fine. And obviously, as you can see, if I do take this all the way to the end, it kind of blocks the other side, as it won't be equal. So just try and get it so it fits equally. And then to make it the same on the other side, you would just get this and basically rotate it the other way. Now, when they are uneven, it will look like this, like mine has. Now, this does look actually quite nice, but I am going to resize it to how it's meant to be. So this is the best that I could get mine. Now it does not have to be perfect, but what you're going to want to do now is add the bed back. And for the next part, you are going to copy this and add it to the end of the bed. And you're now going to want to go and de-size these so that they are smaller than the top of the bed. And the last thing I do is kind of make a sideboard here. Now obviously with that you just get a cube and de-size it and then make it longer and just shape it so it kind of fits. And my best tip for this is to add the bed back, as that will kind of tell you if the bedboard is too in or if it's too out. So I did get it to fit, and I'm now going to copy this onto the other side. And that is the custom bed. Now I am going to go and colour it, and I will show you that when I'm back. Now I have finished decorating the bed and this is how it came out. I will now move on to the next tip. So moving on to my next tip, which is lighting. Now this tip is mainly based by preference, and it is basically the colour of your lighting. So I am going to be using this lamp as an example. Now what you're going to want to do is, if you're wanting like a nice mood lighting, so like orangey but also not bright, now I recommend using flint, because then with this you can then get it to like this nice kind of, I'd say warm lighting. Now obviously for this one you obviously do need the transform tool to make it brighter or dimmer, but obviously you can do that, but I would recommend this so much as this is the lighting that I use in my builds. Just play around with it on whichever colour you like and then choose it. Now my next tip is custom cabinets. Now that might sound confusing, but if you have seen this you will know what this is. So you are going to use a small round rod, and with this you are going to go around the cabinet kind of like this. Well, not like that. So just keep going around the cabinet like I am with the rod, and you should get something like that. And I am going to do one on the inner, so obviously I'm going to go to like there and then copy it like that. Is it just me or does this look a bit wonky? Now I did go in and fix the wonkiness a bit, and I did delete the other two cabinets as this is my next tip for it. But I will say, before you do this next tip, colour the things in before you even do them, as I forgot to do that. So once you have coloured them, you are going to want to copy the cabinet fully, and it will copy it exactly how you've placed your structurals on it. So it will look something like this. Now obviously yours wouldn't look like that. I have just built a very awkward room, so it has to kind of go like that. But now we will move on to the next tip. And now my last and final tip is custom wallpaper. Now, if you have been on my channel for a long time, you will know this is one of my favourite things to do. But you are going to want to use the plain square painting. And you are going to have to come out in build mode so that you can change it to the wallpaper you would like. You can search up Bloxburg decal wallpapers on TikTok or Pinterest, and it will give you a bunch of codes to type in. So this is the one I did go with, and you're now going to want to copy that and place it kind of so it matches it. And then obviously carrying that on, just keep doing that until you fill the whole wall. And that only took a little bit of time, and look how much more realistic it has made this room. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I have linked my Instagram and my TikTok in the description below. But in the comments, please tell me what your Bloxburg building tips are, and thank you for watching, and goodbye.